So let's start it. So productivity is BS. So the internet is full of productivity hacks and things like that. And I will tell you right now that this is just not a good sign of productivity to do things, right? So can you please mute yourself, mute, to be this little background noise. Awesome, thank you. So you don't need to do more, you need to do less. And this is, a counterintuitive thing, because we think in this society that meanwhile we do more things, we'll get more stuff, or we get more things done. And that's not the truth. And you are going to know why on these 20 minutes that are remaining. Okay. So, pro tip, as always, take notes, put your thinking on paper, because paper is eternal. Memory is fragile. Yes. So, memory is super fragile. So, you don't want to lose your thoughts. Meanwhile, you're getting your attention on this, because, attention is precious. And we are doing like this for 30 more minutes. Is valuable. So, put that thinking on paper, and we are going to make it work. So we haven't solved this idea that productivity means filling our days with endless tasks, right? But the truth is high achievers don't do more. They do less better. And this is the key. Okay? They do less but better. So people think productivity means cramming as many tasks into their day as possible, using 10 different software tools to manage their to-do lists, reading books, watching videos, and attending productivity seminars instead of actually doing the work. Seeing a YouTube video of productivity is not being productive, okay? Reading a book about productivity and not taking action is not being productive. So the results, they're busy but not making real progress. I don't know if you have been in that position, but I have been in that position that I think they're super busy, and I start doing a lot of things. And at the end of the day, I noticed that I didn't make real progress. And that's when this concept is pretty strong, because I will illustrate it for you, okay? So the secret of real productivity. Energy is finite, right? So energy is not something is infinite in our lives. When you do things in the day, you feel tired, your mind gets foggy, and you have a certain capacity, right? Attention and focus are finite. They're not unlimited. So the energy that you spend on things during the day is finite. So we are not so conscious about this concept, and we treat the day as like we're energy, like it's not going down at any point. But that's not the reality. The reality is that it's finite, and the reality is that you have some points that you need to rest, or you need to, think about anything else. So where you put it determines your success. And this is the key. Where you put your energy determine your success. Okay. So when you split your energy across too many tasks, right, you make tiny progress on each of them. But when you eliminate distractions and focus on one thing, your progress become exponential. Remember that we have been talking about in these meetings that progress is never linear, that it's exponential, that's how nature works, by multiplication, not by adding. So when you start focusing just on one task, your progress is getting exponential progress. It's not yet. And if you think about it, that's the nature of things in everything. In everything that we do is an exponential result, not a linear. Okay. So I will illustrate that for you right now, and we are going to see what I mean. So this is energy, and I will put not the pencil, so get the pen. So this is energy, right? This is your energy. And you have two choices. We're going to put the first one. You do too many tasks. You're cooking, you're taking the kids, you're outreaching, you are making another business, you are reading, watching YouTube videos, you are, I don't know, too many things. So you are doing a lot of things during the day, and you feel that all of these tasks you're being productive because you're doing a lot of things in the day. And when someone asks you, how are you? Oh man, I'm so busy. It's like this is like weird, like I'm busy, 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 and you think that's a good thing. But if we think about just this line right here, the length of one task, and you start doing this, and you're adding all what you're doing just for one simple task. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you just create exponential growth because you're just focusing in one thing. So you're putting your energy in one thing and not in a lot of things. And this is the key, guys. This is the key. When you split your energy in multiple things, you're losing focus and you are not being productive. So when you do more, actually, you're not doing a favor to yourself. That's why just doing one task, but really focus on it, it will create this growth that's exponential. Checking this one, right? So we are going to know now how to do this, right? Because this is the theory. This is why energy is finite. So I want to keep this concept in your mind and put it in the illustration about the task and one thing, right? And how if you just use math, because this is not a mindset guru stuff. Like this is math. This is science. So energy is finite. So, okay. So just take a screenshot of this, or because I will erase it, or just put it in your head. But we're going to know how to do this now. Okay. So, okay. Example. I have a real life example. You know Michael Phelps, correct? Everyone knows here Michael Phelps? Just raise your hand. Okay, perfect. So what he does, his entire day focused on waking up, go to the pool. That's how he became the best in the world. He wakes up and goes to the pool. That's it. Right? Okay, you got an idea now. Okay, so how we do it. This is the important path. Hey, Nanda, welcome. So you missed the intro, but still is good because we are going to just talk about how we be more productive just right now. Okay. So if you can turn on your camera, that will be amazing. Because everyone is seeing each other. Yep. Okay. So perfect. Oh, you don't have right now. Okay. Okay, but we can see your face here, so don't worry. Okay. So how we do it? How we do it? You can see the record because basically I was talking about energy is finite. Okay, so step one, step one, cut the unnecessary. And this is more real life than you expect, okay? You will see why. So most of your wasted time isn't in business. It's in personal life tasks, okay? So raise your hand if you relate to this. But cooking, cleaning, grocery shopping, email, social media is the most is the most lifetime consumer. So, right? It's like we don't think about how much energy, mindset, or how much like mind energy or energy itself we spend cooking, or thinking about what we're going to wear today, or thinking about or cleaning the house, or go to the grocery store, right? An example, like if you go to the grocery store every 3 days, it's like you're wasting your energy in a big way. You can go like every 2 weeks or every once a week and do the same thing because you're going to spend 90 minutes, 1-2 hours doing the grocery shopping, right? But if you do everything for the week and instead going every 3 days, basically you're cutting 2x of that time and that energy. So, for example, and there's a lot of little things in real life, right? But myself, I decide I will wear like black t-shirts and white t-shirts, and that's it. So I'm not thinking about wearing clothes no more. So in my closet, I just have like black t-shirts and white t-shirts, and that's it. So every time I purchase something online, I don't go to the store. I purchase oversized black t-shirts and oversized right up. Cut the noise too. Recognize cause yeah, exactly. Cut the noise too. Okay, so is do you hear something in the background? Okay, 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 cool, got it. Yeah.
No, no, I just meant generally for like work, alone work, cutting the
Mm.
noise, like having either earphones or I have like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've got this baby here that I put
Mm.
on my ears. Boom, no noise, focus on the work.
Exactly, yeah, and that
So
will be actually that's a step forward the presentation, but it's a clever point because you just don't have noise, and there's a lot of people that work meanwhile seeing YouTube videos, or you work like meanwhile you're hearing some, I don't know, some tutorials. That will be weird. Okay, but so for example, cooking is an experience itself because the time that we waste cooking is a lot. So if you don't have the money to hire a personal chef, right? Because my recommendation, if you do like more than 10 grand, and actually we're going to make in the solution, but if you do more than 10 grand, it has so much sense to hire someone that cooking for you. Because I mean, how much time do you spend cooking? Probably like 90 minutes a day, 1 hour a day. It's like that's a lot. If you think about in terms of hours in the day, like probably you have like 6 good hours in the day, 6 to 8 good productivity hours. So basically, you're doing 20% of your energy cooking. So if you don't have the money to hire a personal chef, that you will spend like almost like $600 or $500 to have that, right? But I understand that that's not the reality for the 99% of the world, right? But you can batch cooking. So you can cook one day of the week a lot. So you can spend maybe or 2 times a week. So let's say on Sunday, you spend like 3 hours cooking, right? And you buy these glass pots. So you put all your meals on those on the fridge. So then when you want to eat, you don't need to think about what you're cooking. That's also a mindset, mind energy, right? So you just go to the fridge. You have Monday, Tuesday, like every cook prepared, and just put it there, just heat it up, and just eat. So instead of going like 1 hour, 90 minutes, because cooking and eating is almost like 90 minutes window, right? So if unless you can eat in 15 minutes, right? Or less than that if you eat fast. Okay, so that's just one example. Okay, one example of how things in your life, because you need to apply this to your life. Okay, so how things in your life will be easier and how things you can automate or make a process to do it. The cleaning, for example, right? Okay, so you need to do it in your personal life. Okay, so step two. So remember, step one is to understand your daily task and how things in personal life affect your business hours. Okay, step two, optimize health and energy. So sleep is the biggest productivity hack. And this is something that, I mean, there's a lot of gurus out there that say to you, you need to wake up like 3:30 in the morning and you need to do your burpees and and eat like raw eggs like Rocky Balboa and then go jog and then right. That's not true. Actually, I study a lot of neuroscience. I study a lot of that because I'm really interested in how the brain works. And there's a lot of good books about it. But one is telling that if it's possible, wake up when you need to wake up. It's like that sounds like really ridiculous, right? But biggest hack for brain activity is like sleep until you don't want to sleep no more. Of course, that you don't need to be lazy, right? When you wake up, you need to be productive, and that's it. But if you sleep until you wake up without no alarm, your brain is going to rest the hours that need to be rest. And of course, if you have if you're not sleeping well, in the beginning, you're going to sleep a lot because you need to recover. But after you have that brain activity better, you need less and less sleep because your brain is going to be healthy. But basically, the biggest like productivity hack that you can have is to have your brain in full operation. Because when you have your brain like really clear, you can decide faster, you can make decisions faster, and you can be more productive because you're not like rambling between what things to do. And because you actually, when you decide things faster, when you don't think decisions too much because your mind is super sharp, you can 2x, 5x, 10x your time. Yes, you reduce the brain fog. Okay, so get 8+ hours consistently. And actually, another like tip, like super useful, is like when you sleep before like at 12 in the night, like midnight. So, for example, let's say from 10 to 12, if you sleep in that moment, actually you're adding an extra hour of sleeping, and that's science. You can research it. But when you sleep earlier, you're basically adding an extra hour. When you, for example, let's say you sleep at 10, from 10 to 12, you're not sleeping 2 hours, sleeping 3 hours regarding your brain activity. And that's super interesting. Okay. So you can still wake up early, right? You can still wake up 5, 4 if you want, but you need to go to bed really early to that, like 9 in the night. Okay. So use tools like Oura Ring or something to track your sleep quality, because what you don't measure, you cannot improve. So you need to measure also your sleep. And in the phone, you have a lot of apps that do that. Okay. So now exercise. As you know, exercise is, an interesting thing that, of course, is a must. If you struggle with consistency, hire a personal trainer or get an online fitness coach. So why it's important to have someone in your back when you train, when you do exercise? Because you need to be accountable to that person. Even that you don't have the money, or you can say to a friend, hey, can you be my accountable, partner in training? So you can, if you have, an iWatch, or you have some apps that you can connect with other friends, and that way that friend can tell you, hey man, how's the workout today? But you need to be accountable with someone, because humans are working in that way. If you are accountable with another person, you will be more consistent. Okay. So nutrition matters, of course. Don't junk food, like, it's awful. It gets your mind energy, like, you get fog. I don't know if it happened to you, but you're working and you don't have anything to cook, and you go and try just eat anything, a delivery or something. You go out to eat something like junk food, and after you eat that, you feel, oh, I don't want to work, and you start feeling that way. It's because that food, it's remove energy from your brain. And actually, that's super interesting, because the junk food, it has a high level of dopamine. So when you eat that food, you are not just eating, you're just increasing your dopamine level. So that's why it tastes so good. And that's why you feel so good when you eat junk food. And then when you come back to work is not so much fun, right? It's hard work. So the dopamine, because your dopamine was super high, and we talk about this in the latest call, but your dopamine is super high, and then you need to go back to work, and then you don't receive that same amount of dopamine. So you feel like you don't want to do it. So that's why, eating those type of food are bad. Okay, so step 3. So these are 5 steps. Okay, step 1, right? Remove the personal thing on your business, right? Step 2, create, automate things, and optimize health and energy. Step 3, build a strict routine. So freedom in your schedule is equal like zero structure, zero results. If you don't have a structure in your routine, you're losing time. So I will do this quickly because it's super simple, right? So set strict daily habits. 1, wake up at the same time every day. And actually, this works really good for brain and for metabolism. If you wake up at the same time every day, you're telling your body you need to like create these hormones of productivity. Because when you, and actually this is also, you can need to research by your own, but when you wake up or when you eat at the same time, or when you like do things at the same time each day, you're helping your brain and your body to create the hormones that are responsible to make the action. Meaning, if you go to bed the same time every day, when the when you're sleepy, when you want to sleep, actually you are creating hormones, sleep hormones, and that's why you feel that way. Okay, so when you go to bed at the same time each day, you're telling your brain, your body, hey, we need to create these hormones now. And that's how you start regulating. Actually, it's the same thing when you wake up. When you wake up at the same time every day, you're telling your body, like, create productivity hormones. How many don't do this? So what's the question? Yeah, I'm wondering how many on this call actually do this. That's a good question. So how many of you do this or don't do this? Put it in the chat. Yeah, I do it too. I mean, I have kids, so I'm forced. Forced to do it. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So, for example, when they go to school, they need to be to school at the same day. So that helps a lot. Okay. So you're right. Fix morning routines. Exercise, praying, healthy breakfast. Do it at the same time. At the same time. We're all someone's at your door. Okay. Let's say they wake up. Let's wait. Mohit. What people say? Let's wait for him. What do you think, Munir?
Let's wait.
Yeah, we wait for you, Mohit. Good.
Sorry about that.
No, no worries,
Uh,
man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Uh yeah, okay, cool. So do you have any questions so far? Do you have something that it gets your attention and you want to ask? Or do we just go? Okay. Think about the question meanwhile we're moving forward. Oh, you got something? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, because like for me, for example, I'm really like out of money basically at the end of each month, and it's kind of a difficult situation, and I guess most of you are in the same situation as I am, where it's like difficult and you gotta do with what you have. So like instead of having a cook or a private chef, which is difficult in the moment. Just like you've got so much like content or like free recipes and everything for really cheap,
Right.
for like really cheap recipes and everything on, like, be it IG or on YouTube, whatever, like a kind of students recipes and everything that you can look up to. And like that's what I'm doing with my girlfriend, and that's like helping us a lot at the moment. So
Right.
I recommend that.
So you plan your meals basically.
Exactly, we plan our meals, and like we look, oh, here I just saw this, and it's like you can find really good meals
Right.
that require really like a little budget and not very much, like but
Right.
highly nutritious meals and everything that you can
Right.
have for cheap. So that's cool.
Right. For example, what I do is like when I'm batch cooking, I cook chicken, rice, meat, and I slice the vegetables. And so, for example, like rice is really good because you can take it for 4 or 5 days in the fridge, and also chicken. And it's like you can mix. It's a little more boring, right? But it's more productive at the end. But yeah, you're right. It's like end of the month is a crucial time, I think. Yeah. So this is super important. It's like your first deep work session starts at this time, no exceptions. You can also create a plan for food and other things in order to run like automation. Something, yes, exactly, Nanda. It's totally right. And this is also one thing that we don't think about it too much, but we need to work in the same time every day. And this is super crucial because we need to understand that the hard tasks are our priority. Answering emails and things like that, they can wait. They can wait until you don't have the brain capacity, right, to focus. Because the hardest task is good to have it, or the most creative task is good to have it when your brain is super fresh. So that's why, for example, you say, I start at 9 a.m. to work, but you start 9 a.m. and you go all in, and you'll know why in a second. So the more disciplined you are, the more money you make. That's it. That's it. There's no secret sauce. Okay? So, step 4, remove distractions. And this is crucial, guys. I mean, I think this is the illustration of the energy, like the go to everywhere and go to one direction, is the most important illustration. And this one is the most harder and important part of your life, because social media and email are killing your productivity. Answering emails and going to social media in the beginning of the day is killing it. It's killing your, and that's also because I teach you the last time that when you do social media and email in the morning, your dopamine level is right here, super high. You're developing like a high dopamine intake. And then when you go to work is in the dopamine level is right here. Here's work. So when you go and dopamine level in the beginning and you want to work, you feel that you don't want to work because you're already doing a high like intake of dopamine. But when you remove that and you just start working, you are in this level. So you feel like work is fun and you feel like you have the energy to do the work. And then at the end of the day, you can go and watch a series or whatever you want to watch. You can make the dopamine thing at the end of the day. But if you do it in the beginning, that will kill the energy that you need to produce. Okay. So anyone is related to this? Like anyone want to tell something that happened? Go ahead.
Yeah, so from personal experience, I love what you're saying. So what I did is like I had a specific game on my phone. I'm not gonna tell you which it is. I don't want you to get addicted to this. um, but and I know this was relieving lots of dopamine for me.
Right.
So I practically like honestly I got addicted to it in the morning, in the evening, on the toilet. Like at every moment I had this out, and it took. I'm sure it took like lots of dopamine out of me.
Right.
And same with IG, Reels, TikTok, whatever. Like everything that people are telling is bad and high, quick dopamine producers. If you have like the motivation and the discipline to cut it out, your dopamine source will
Right.
be, for example, work, and that's the case now for me. uh no, I get my dopamine from doing work and from actually like moving forward each step of the way. I get more dopamine, and if I get like a win in the day, that's where I get dopamine instead of opening my phone and opening that stupid game or like going on Insta Reels. So that's like a rewiring that I
That's
would
wonderful.
suggest to all of you.
That's wonderful, man. That's wonderful. That's a great habit. That's wonderful. So anyone else like suffer the same thing or want to share something? I saw Nanda. Oh yeah, Mohit, go ahead.
Yeah, I think one thing I realized was our bodies, right? Like our minds, it's very prone to distraction. So you cut off one thing, it wants to get this other thing. For
Right.
example, Instagram, like how Beretti said, Instagram used to be my number one source for distraction. Instagram Reels. So I
Mm,
installed this app called One Sec.
okay.
So it counts how many times you open Instagram during the day, and I
Ooh,
noticed
that's good.
it's called it's called One Sec. So I noticed before the number used to be around like 35 or something, and now it's come down to like maybe 4 or 8 max,
Right.
and that's
Right.
good. But what I realized was I've shifted from Instagram to YouTube. and now I'm on YouTube Shorts now. So I'm like, okay, that's messed up. So now I need to uninstall YouTube on my phone. But
Right.
again, I feel like you need to be mindful always about if you're getting distracted or not, because you might think you solved X, but what happens is Y happens, like XYZ.
Right.
So you need to be
Right.
always mindful about it.
Right. I mean, what I did is I just erased all of it from my phone. It's a little extreme, but I just erased it. For me, it was X, and I just, yeah, just got the chase. But yeah, man, that. Hey, Muneshi, how are ya?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good, good. Yeah.
My
So
first time here.
no worries, no worries. You can see the recording later, but basically we're talking about, how your energy is finite and how you need to put your energy in focus in your business and not in other things. So now that summarized really great what you're talking about. And we're just talking about, apps and what apps, are cutting you off. Um Nanda's just talking about cutting off Instagram. I addicted to YouTube. Yeah. So two
Okay.
things, Minashi. Are you able to turn on your camera? And if you know, don't worry. But we'll love to see you in the camera. And if you have that same struggle, awesome,
Definitely,
man.
I'm good.
Good to see you.
Yes. Okay. How are you doing, guys?
Good. Good. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Awesome.
Yes. Okay.
So that I think the question is, because we're talking about removing distractions. There's a lot of things that going on here, but do you have something that is distracting you during the day, so that way you're not able to move forward with your business?
At the moment, I'm currently like in school, so it's a thing of like really managing the two. So it's a thing
Hmm.
whereby I want to do something else, but I also want to kind of focus on my 3D as well, which I'm really passionate about. So it's a thing of like trying to balance the two. And then
Right.
maybe sometimes I might find myself, maybe I'm watching some shorts, and then it's like that thing whereby it takes a lot of time from my
Yeah.
things that I'm actually doing. So it's a waste of time in a way, which I should be kind of focusing on other things as well. But that's what I would say if I'm kind of relating it
Awesome.
to that.
That's great. And thanks for sharing, Mohit. He's sharing like an app to measure what your addictiveness to
Oh, yeah,
certain
okay.
apps. I think this is really good. This is really really good, because what you don't measure, progress. And basically what you
Yes,
did there, Mohit, is like you measure how many times are you active on it, and that's why it gives you the ideas like, hey, this is too much, right? Yeah, because you measure it. Okay, so delete unnecessary apps from your phone. This is what's in my presentation. Turn off notifications. Okay, this is really important too, because, for example, you have some apps that you cannot delete, like LinkedIn or WhatsApp, things like that, right? But if you have notification on it and you're working and you feel that buzz like all the time, it will get you distraction. So, and check your email and social once a day max. Remember, if you discipline enough, the more discipline make, you more money you make. Got it? Hey, Sir Juan, how are you, man?
Hey, Pedro. I'm good. Actually, I
Good,
got
good.
in super late. I kind of, I got
No worries,
confused
man.
with timings. Yeah.
No worries, no worries. So I will get the summarized illustration for you and Moneshi. If you can turn on your camera, that will be amazing for can see you, your wonderful face, and to see you interacting with us. If you know, like, don't worry. But I will summarize. So I will summarize what we just discussed, and I will create the illustration again for you guys. So this is two ways that we can put our energy. And I'm making this illustration because it's really important, okay? So if you have too many tasks, what you're doing is like you're doing one thing and you're cooking and you're making social media and you're getting a YouTube channel and you're doing like some posts on LinkedIn, and you're doing some outreaching, and you're doing some business things, and you're doing some emails, and you're doing some things. So you feel like you're making a lot of progress, but the truth is like you're wasting your energy in one of those tasks, this amount of energy. Okay. But if you think about energy in a different way, that you somewhere and you don't do more, actually you do less but better, you start adding the same length of energy. And this is not, a concept, it's science, right? You do the same length of your energy, combine it, and that's when you do one thing, one offer, and one task really well, and you move forward faster than if you're doing a lot of things at the same time. So we talk about like how batch cooking and how having some cleaning people that go to your house if you can, or just doing once a week, or like removing and automate personal things. For example, what to wear. Ansel talk about like how have a planned meal, really detail, that you can just batch cooking on Sundays and just put it in the fridge with in the glass pots where they can conserve better. How you can remove these things they're wasting your time, because for example, like cooking and eating is like 90 minutes a day probably, right? So if you can batch that, you have 90 more minutes each day, or 60 more minutes each day, and you will start adding up this energy into one task, one goal. Okay. So, and we were just talking about how to do it. Okay, guys. So funny fact, this is a funny fact. Okay. Rich people don't have their phone number in the email signature. They don't have the phone number in the email signature. Rich people. Why? Because they don't want to be bothered. I don't want no one to call me. Right? That's just a fun fact, but it's true. Okay. So step 5, and this is the last one. Work in isolation. Lock the doors, close the windows, shut everything off. I cannot manage my camera too well, but if you see my space, it's like all black. It's like an entire black thing. I'm in a spaceship right now. Going to the spaceship mode. I need to buy some neon lights probably. So when you work, your phone is off. Your browser has no extra tabs. I remember once I meet with a guy that I had to take a screenshot. I didn't put it in the presentation because for personal reasons, but he has like a 200 tabs, like 200. No joke. Okay. Deep focus, faster results. That's a common thing to understand, but it's so true that I want to put it here. Okay. So final point, less is more. Same as design. Do you know when you design something, the less elements, less colors, and less things are better? Who's related with that? Right? When you do less in design, is more. So why we don't apply that in our personal lives? And we think that more is better. So so the universal laws that God give us, right? There's universal laws but sometimes we follow it in one area and not in another one. So that's weird, right? Okay. So the more you try to do, the less you actually achieve. This is an important point. And remember, the energy thing that we just say, okay? The too many tasks and then just one really good task. One business, one offer, one goal. That's your mantra. One business, one offer, one goal. Actually, the businesses that has multiple offers, they suffer a big problem later on because the productivity goes down. Because if you think about universal law, and I know probably you heard this law, but there is a law, the 80-20 law, right? The 80-20 law is basically the 80-20 law. the 20% of your clients, let's say you have 5 clients. So they have 5 clients. So 4 clients here and 1 client here. 1 client, it will give you the 80% of your revenue. And 4 clients, it will give you the 20% of your revenue. Are you related to this or no? Right? And that's the 80-20% law. And that's a law for everything. The 20% of your task during the day are giving you the 80% of results. So you need to start identify which tasks are these 20% for you and go all in into this. So when you start removing unnecessary tasks like what should I wear, doing social media and seeing unnecessary things that give you dopamine, what should I cook? Like, if you don't have the time to cleaning, just invest in someone to clean your house. If you're making more than $5,000 a month or $6,000 a month and you're still cleaning your house, it's like you're wasting your time, because you can probably hire someone for $10 to do it, $20 to do it, right? Twice a month, right? For example, I love to have someone that take care of my pool and take care of my grass, the cutting the grass, because that cutting the grass, it will be like 2 hours for me. And 1, I'm helping someone, and 2, I'm saving 2 hours of my time. So I can produce more in 2 hours than the money that I'm spending for some other people do that. Make sense? Does anyone has this same issue in another things? Like, does anyone want to save a little money just to do it by yourself and spend hours? Do you have someone that makes tasks like this, right? I don't know. So are you cutting your own grass, or you're doing your unnecessary tasks that you need to do and you can externalize? What do you think? I know it's a hard task, but just don't do it. Yeah, of course, and make a jungle out there. So every time that you go, and then you be in a jungle with crocodiles and. So yeah, so if you think about it, you can share with us. But one business, one offer, one goal. Focus on one thing that moves the needle. The rest is noise. Just focus in one thing. As I mentioned before, example, Michael Phelps, right? He wakes up and go to the pool. That's it. And that's why he's the best in the world. Okay, so this is the question for you, okay? So what's one thing you can eliminate from your daily routine right now to gain back time and energy? So can you put in the chat one thing, or just unmute yourself and tell to us? So what is one thing that you can eliminate from your daily routine? Let's say cooking every day. Let's say, I don't know, think about what you're wearing or checking social media. One thing you can eliminate. YouTube. Okay, Mohit. Cooking. Awesome. Let's make some fasting then. 40-day fasting. The most productive month in the world. Doom scrolling. Yeah, man. Doom scrolling. Intermittent fasting. Yeah, man. Yeah. YouTube gang. Yeah, man. It's important for me, to put that question, and it's important to you write it down on the chat, not because for this video, not because for the communities, because yourself. Because when you put things out there, you're declaring, you're doing a manifesto, right? And you're doing like something that other people can see. So now when I see Mohit to start one, Amunashi, I will say, hey, what is YouTube scrolling going? And they will say, awful, man. And I will say, oh no, man, what are you doing? Okay, guys. So let's go to work.